So last weekend my wife felt like having Paneer Makhani, which is basically a vegetarian butter chicken but made with paneer, which is an Indian cheese. Therefore I did comply with the madam's request, and honestly I didn't really have an option. My wife being a vegetarian, and this is a common dish found in northern Indian households who follow a vegetarian diet. Do leave us a like and comment and let us know your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Let's get to it. We're going to begin with the Makhani sauce prep. In a deep bottom pan, I had added a tablespoon of avocado oil and heated it for a minute. With that I added 2 pieces of cardamom, 2 cloves, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds and 3 whole dried Kashmiri red chillies. Kashmiri red chillies are pivotal to this dish for their color and flavor that they will lend to the sauce. They're not that crazy on the spice level too compared to other red chillies from India. I toasted these for a minute just so their oils release and they become fragrant. Next I added in 7 to 8 cloves of garlic and an inch of ginger that I have roughly sliced. Saute them for a couple of minutes, making sure not to burn the garlic or ginger. You just want to saute them till the garlic and ginger release their flavors and are aromatic. Next add 1 sliced onion to the pan and give it a quick saute for a minute. Now I have about 6 tomatoes that I have cut into quarters. And yes, this dish needs a lot of tomatoes. It's primarily a tomato based sauce. Add them into the pan and give it a toss around with the rest of the stuff. A little bit of salt to help them release their moisture, and we're going to add our spices right now. Beginning with 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of coriander seed powder and 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. Give this a thorough mix till the spices and the tomatoes and onions all get to know each other. Next, we're going to add about 8 to 10 pieces of cashew and stir it in with the ingredients in the pan. We're now going to introduce half a cup of water into this that will help get these vegetables cooked. At this stage, I'll also add in 1 teaspoon of butter at this point. I mean, this is a makhani, which literally translates into butter. Give this a mix till the butter has melted and then cover with the lid and cook on low for 15 to 20 minutes. We want to cook this till the tomatoes are mushy. After 20 minutes, kill the heat and allow this to cool down to room temperature before transferring everything in the pan to a blender. Blend this on medium for about 5 minutes. You want to blend this into a fine and velvety sauce. There should be no specks left of any of the ingredients. So here I have a block of paneer, which is essentially an Indian cottage cheese. It's pretty firm and doesn't melt when introduced to heat. I like to cut these into triangles rather than cubes. This ensures more of a surface for the sauce to latch onto as opposed to the traditional cut of cubes. Once we have all of our cheese prepped, it's time to give them a quick saute. You can add them as is, but lightly toasting them forms a crust on the outside that adds an elevated texture to our final plate. In a pan, add 1 teaspoon of ghee and toast a quarter teaspoon of cumin seeds with a pinch of turmeric and Kashmiri red chili powder. Again, low heat as we don't want to burn the spices, which is rather quite easy to do. Add your paneer to the pan and saute on one side for a minute before carefully moving them around to get them sauteed on all sides. Once your paneer has been sauteed, move them to a bowl and set them aside for now. We're going to use the same pan for our sauce. You don't wipe it off, we want all of that residual flavor. To the same pan, add 1 tablespoon of ghee with 1 tablespoon of butter. And now we're going to pour our sauce into the pan that we blended, but very importantly through a sieve. Yes, I do stress on this. We do not want all of those ugly bits of tomato seeds and skin in our sauce. We're aiming for a silky and velvety texture of our sauce. If you don't care about that, by all means add it as it is. But I do like the texture of the sauce once we put it through the sieve. Anyways, get all of that in there and squeeze out as much as you can till you've extracted every last drop. Cook this on medium heat for about 10 minutes, constantly mixing and stirring while it cooks. You see all that fat from the ghee and butter floating on top? We want to emulsify that into the sauce as this cooks. And at first it won't look like that's happening, but be patient, keep stirring, count to 1, 2, 3 up to 100 or sing a song in your head and you'll get there eventually. Now we need to add a sweet component to this to get the perfect balance of spicy, savory and sweet. I added 1 tablespoon of honey. Some people use sugar instead. I like the balance and flavor the honey brings into this. I think with sugar it really adds more than necessary. Also, I found honey to provide more of a balance to the overall flavor than sugar, where it's more distinct. Give this a quick mix till the honey is incorporated and it's time to get our paneer back into the fold. Carefully place them into the sauce. Do not dump them in all at once. Don't be a savage. Now delicately toss the paneer around in the sauce, covering it with that silky, smooth and velvety gravy. Allow them to mingle in for a few minutes and the paneer to absorb all that flavor of the sauce. Last component to our dish is to add half a cup of heavy cream. This is just going to make the dish all the more rich and indulgent. Cook this for 4 to 5 minutes, stirring constantly till the cream is emulsified and the sauce thickens. We're now going to add our final touches, which is 1 teaspoon of garam masala and 1 teaspoon of crushed kasuri methi, which are dried fenugreek leaves. One final mix of these ingredients and our paneer makhani is now ready. Time to play it up. I drizzled a tablespoon of cream on top with some freshly chopped cilantro. I like to have this with some naan on the side. I made some naan from scratch and I've attached a link to that video above. This turned out to be immaculate. The sauce was a perfect blend of spice, sweetness and silky and velvety textures that we were going for came through. My wife said this was one of the best paneer makhani she's ever had and she should know since she grew up in Delhi. That's where the dish is from. And that's all for today folks. If you do like this video, leave us a like or a comment and do subscribe to our channel.